Welcome to the Strategic Travel Entrepreneur. My name is Rita Perez. Hello. I've been a travel advisor for over 10 years and am navigating this winding road of entrepreneurship with you. I created this podcast because I wanted to share all the things I've learned from leaders both in and out of our industry that I really wish I would have known way back then. But alas, the important thing is I'm aware of them now, and I want you to be too. Ready for this week's show? Let's jump in. Hi everyone, welcome back to the podcast. We are going to talk about something not so heavy and not so tangible, I guess. I know boundaries and having that model calendar has been a big thing for me recently, but also what has been a really great thing for me is having a great network, because I'm able to bounce off ideas from my great network. But not only that, doors have opened for me because of such the great network that I have. And I am, one, so incredibly grateful. And two, I would only call myself having a great network starting this past year. And, as a business owner, that's wait, what? And I fought networking so hard. And this is not the first time that I mentioned it, but I wanted to kind of get you in the mindset that I was at end of 2019, which is kind of how this all spurred. At the end of 2019, there was a big theme of you cannot keep doing the same things. If you keep doing the same things, you are going to keep getting the same results. And I was done with having the same boring results. I was finally, and this is a very hard thing for me, I was finally willing to take a risk and put myself out there regardless of what was going to happen. So I started Googling local network events that were happening in my local area, of course, and just putting them on the calendar or signing up if I needed to. And one of those events happened to be a NABO event, which NABO stands for National Association of Women Business Owners. And NABO was hosting an event about speaking for client attraction. And that had been something that had been on my radar. I had spoken with a couple of agents who did some speaking. Somebody used to rent one of the rooms at the library and talk about river cruising. And I was like, hey, I think I might want to learn just a little bit more and get some confidence in this. So I attended that event. And the speaker for that event was Mary Kravitz of Simply Get Clients, which you have heard her here on the podcast. And that opened up a lot of doors. Opened up so many doors. That happened February 2020, where I met her and kind of stayed connected with her. And a lot of what she had to say really stuck with me. So when she had a program about referral generation open up in June, I was like, let me sign up. Let me sign up and let me do something with this person because I know it's going to be valuable. Well, holy cannoli, I did not know how valuable that was going to be. Meeting other business owners who I would have never met had it not been me taking that leap of faith back in February 2020 and attending this class with her, because I got to start creating a network of business owners and I started to have my own referral network calls. And in those calls, I have just met so many freaking amazing business owners, lots of different coaches, and lots of the people you have heard here on the podcast before. And that's the benefit. Our travel industry is amazing, and we do have now a lot of awesome resources to help us in our businesses, but I like getting the perspective of business owners who are not in our business, just to see what else is happening out there and also see how I can make it work for the travel business. One of the really awesome things about this, kind of a little unrelated too, is that now I have met so many people that now know about my business. And I think that really is where it's not only getting personal development, professional development, but it is also you being strategic in the partnerships that you create so that you can get in front of different people who can also get you on different audiences. Like a lot of my podcast opportunities have happened because I stuck myself out there and I connected with other people. And I don't think that this is something that's really talked about a lot in our industry. And I think that it should be talked about in different industries. Like one of my really great friends that you've heard here on the podcast, Noreen Zachary, referred me to be a guest on a podcast that she had just podcast guested. And now I know that business owner. I have a relationship with that person. Now her audience knows who I am. It is this huge ripple effect. So I might not have immediate things now, but I know that the relationships that I have built, they might not know somebody now who needs somebody that offers my services like cruise retreats, but it may come up in a conversation down along the line, especially since travel is starting to open up now too. A lot of my network has also helped me tremendously getting this virtual assistant side of business open. And I know a lot of people are kind of like, how do I get clients? Where do I get clients from? And I think one of the simplest and very overlooked techniques is you need to open your mouth and tell people. And when I started this virtual assistant business for travel entrepreneurs, I went ahead and I started to communicate that with a lot of my colleagues that this is what I was doing. I had one-on-one interviews with them. And from those interviews, there have been kind of residual business coming to me, like referrals. I also did a lot of Facebook ads. And a really hopefully big partnership deal that's coming in the forefront was because of the ad that I put out. And ads haven't worked that well for me in my travel business, but they have in my virtual assistant business. So just that, and try different types of ads and see which types of ads work for you. I think it's also having relationships with certain other individuals in the travel industry that have really helped me. Not enough people talk about the power of your voice and how it can help you out. But you need to be, because I will also say in my travel business, my immediate network of people, no, they're not my ideal clients. A lot of them don't know my ideal clients. And yeah, I could be shutting this down, but I have not gotten any traction from posts that I will say maybe recently I have, because I think people are a little bit more sympathetic to business owners, especially what we've gone through over the past years. But also, I will say that I was in a different frame of mind when I initially started voicing things on my personal social media. The Strategic Travel Entrepreneur is brought to you by Mailbox Power. Harness the power to attract and nurture your clients through something many entrepreneurs have forgotten about, the mailbox. Create beautiful custom campaigns and automate annual mailings for birthdays and holidays. And with a pro account, get access to mailboxes not currently on your mailing list that are just waiting for the travel service you offer. Visit my Mailbox Power affiliate link in the show notes to get started today and support this podcast. In the whole, I have this deal for you and please book with me, where now I have a different mindset that I want to be of service. And not saying that in my personal network that it has helped me, but I think in the new relationships that I am creating and forming, that has helped me. I have so many more people that I can rely on now to either bounce off ideas with, or, to be like, oh my gosh, this is happening and it's horrible. Where I wouldn't say that I had that before. And that's because I did something different and I took the risk. And I think that's really the point of all this, is that in order to have a really great network, you need to put yourself out there. And some people aren't going to be for you. And I've been realizing this a lot recently, that I have been trying to like force certain relationships to happen. And I was kind of like, you know what? I'm gonna put the brakes on that. Like, if they want it to happen, they'll make it happen. It's kind of like dating. If somebody wants to go out with me, they're gonna make it happen. But I also, and I guess again, boundaries. I cannot spend my time focusing on people that don't get it. They don't get what I do. They're not interested in what I do. Do I think they would make a great partner or collaborator in the future? Heck, yes, I do. Or else I wouldn't have like even initiated a response from them. But we cannot be spending our time on like dead weight, is what I would call it. So spend your time and lean in on those relationships. Man, this is going back. I'm thinking about like all the strengths training that I've been doing with Nervine too. You have to focus on your strengths and the people and things that are benefiting you right now. So what is that? It's going to be different for everybody. But what are those things? Because if you've been trying to do X, and I teeter on the line too, because like if you keep doing something, like little things will slowly but surely accumulate. But also, I don't want you to be spending time on like weightless things. It's man, now thinking about that, it's a very hard and fine line. Cause like I would say there's certain relationships that are going to help you and certain relationships that are not going to help you. It's kind of like that Medea reference with the tree, that certain people are leaves, certain people are branches, and certain other people are roots. And it's okay for them to be whatever part of the tree that they are, but you have to really focus and put your investment in the roots. Go ahead, and the people that aren't your roots, but you think could be a very valuable relationship, check in on them from time to time. But don't put in all the effort that you would or that you are with people who are providing some service to you. And I'm not talking like service like they're doing things. There's a mutually beneficial relationship, and you have to understand the difference between trying to like have a relationship with somebody and like realizing what the relationship is, and is this benefiting from you? Because if somebody is not putting you as a priority in their life or their business, then why are you putting them as a priority in yours? Wow, this like took a different turn, but I think it's also something that's very important, because I think that a lot of the times we can get hung up on, but if she just did this, and but if he just did this, and if I can make them see, why should you have to make them see? They should already just be able to see it. And if they don't, they're probably not for you, or they're not for you right now. So I know I went off on a little tangent, but I hope that helps to kind of, you see what the value of a really great network is, because I was able to make it. I didn't even know like where I would land when I was starting this virtual assistant business, but because of the relationships that I made, I'm already working. I'm working on client projects. I had a 4-figure month, and I wasn't even sure if that was going to happen. I can't wait to like be able to say like, I had my first 5-figure month in my virtual assistant business. You know, in my travel business, I got like one of the biggest commissions I've gotten in a really long time. Relationships are very important, and I would not be as successful as how I am, like starting to be full-time entrepreneur, had it not been for the relationships that I have. But you have to be smart about the relationships. You have to be strategic. And if something no longer serves you, it's okay to say no to them. And if you're not getting anywhere in a relationship, it's okay to put that on pause. Check in on them maybe quarterly instead of monthly. But relationships are what get us everywhere. I mean, I'm sure that's the majority of how our service-based businesses work, is through relationships other people have and the referrals that they make for our business. So I hope that this has helped at least give you some confidence that if you haven't been putting yourself out there, go ahead, put yourself out there. Go to a networking event. I will challenge you. Go to a networking event, even if it's an online event this month or within the next 30 days. Within the next 30 days, find an event that you want to be at because you know that there's going to be people that you can make really great relationships with and become referral partners with. I want to hear your feedback after that event has happened. Let me know how it went. And maybe I can also help you out. Maybe if it didn't go too well, I can see how I can steer you in a great direction. If it did go really well, what were some of your wins and what were your takeaways? Because the more you do it, the more wins that you're going to have, and the more comfortable you are doing it. Because I remember my first couple of referral calls being so nervous. And I think that confidence comes over time, and that's in your business. I'm sure you were incredibly nervous when you first started the travel business and first making your bookings, and now you're kind of I can do that sleeping. Not really, but it just comes easier, and the more you do it, the easier that it becomes, and the more opportunities come your way if you put yourself out there. But again, you have to be strategic, and you can't just be putting yourself out there all the time. There needs to be work. So there is a fine balance that happens in this. But overall, having a really great network is going to be way more beneficial to you than not having a really great network. If you would like me to get Mary Kravitz back on, and maybe we can do a private session so that you can learn how to create and build referral partners, please let me know, because I would love to offer that training to you as well. And that's all about building your referral network and having monthly referral calls so you can just stay up to date on what other people are doing. Alrighty, you have a wonderful week. Build your awesome network, and I will see you next week. Thanks for joining me on The Strategic Travel Entrepreneur. Please subscribe and leave a show rating on your favorite podcast platform. Oh, and don't forget to take a look at the show notes for important information and links. See you next week.